Back to the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. I'm Cheryl Garlock with Colorado Front Range Properties. I'm so glad you could join us today. My very special guest today is Karen Conrad with Karen Conrad Homes. And by the way, you're going to really want to stay tuned here because we are going to be talking about home staging and why that's important. You know, Karen, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here too because this is really an important topic. You know, when you're selling your home, a lot of times people kind of think they know their home pretty well and know how it should look when it's kind of all tidied and cleaned up and everything else.
Right.
But they are not really able to look at it from the eyes of a buyer typically.
That's true. And you know, when you stage a home, it's very different than the way you live in a home.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, I know a lot of people, and I mean agents too, you know, frequently we don't really want to be the bad guy that comes in there and tells you that, you know, I think we should have a home stager come in here and take a look at this thing, you know, and because it sends a message. And a lot of times agents are reluctant to say that. But then, you know, the double whammy. Here is your haircut, people. You get the haircut of $10,000, $25,000 when it doesn't look right.
That's right.
And you know, the agent doesn't like to make that phone call either.
That's so true. And we can be in that position to sort of be that communicator of that message about home staging.
Absolutely. So, you know, I mean, if you're wanting to get the most out of your home, you really need to take the time to have kind of an independent third-party eye, if you will. And I know every time I go into somebody's home to list their property there, well, come on in, take a look around, tell us what you think we should do. And so, okay, I do, and to a certain degree. And you have to be careful there because you don't want to offend anybody. But, you know, I'm here to tell you that if you want the most out of your home, you really need to have an objective third eye really look at. And that's what you can do for people, Karen. Isn't that right?
Yes, that's exactly right. And you know, statistics really prove that home staging is worth the money. Matter of fact, the Housing and Urban Development, they did a study, and on average, your house will sell for 17% higher than the home that is not staged.
Wow, that is incredible. You know, and I'm going to couple that with something else there. There's something else that goes along with the staging. My two main features when I list a property is to make sure that that home shows well or staged well, because you have what, less than 30 seconds to capture the interest of a buyer.
Yes, you have the first 7 to 10 seconds that most buyers will form an opinion about your home.
That's right, and actually that opinion formation actually even starts from the outside.
It does.
So, you know, a lot of times people think about the inside as far as staging their home, but they don't really always think about the outside.
True.
And you know, we call it curb appeal.
Yes.
And you got to start right there. But the other thing that goes along with staging, and you got to remember, and people forget this sometimes, is that people are shopping online all the time. And if your images don't look right, you know, you have to have the home first staged properly, and then you have to have great photographs.
Yes, you really do. And you know, over 90% of the buyers today shop online. That's how they find their home.
Well, I know that because I get plenty of hits on that from my website, and people using that website to go ahead and shop for a home. By the way, you know what that website address is? I'm going to tell you guys. ColoradoSpringsBestHomes.com. ColoradoSpringsBestHomes.com. Click on the Search Homes tab. Use that tab to go ahead and search all the homes that are available for sale in Colorado Springs. Now let's talk a little bit more about how staging works there, Karen. What do you actually come in and do? You offer consultations, don't you?
I do, a free consultation. I basically come in the home, just like you said, with the eyes of a buyer, and I just take a look at the rooms and sort of determine at that point what we can do to increase that home's potential.
That's great. That's great. And so they can get a free consultation. That's highly unusual, and that's a wonderful service that you do provide. So Karen and I work together here to go ahead and help make this sort of happen there, so that you get the, you know, selling your home is not the funnest thing for people to do, because it's all about keeping the beds made, keeping the toys picked up, you know, making everything, keeping the dishes not in the sink anymore, all those kinds of things. And there's a lot of prep work, and you're running out the door to get to work there, and you've got to do all this stuff here. So you want to create an environment to sell your home in the fastest possible time with the least amount of inconvenience to you there. So talk to me a little bit about how home staging helps to get people to schedule a showing.
Yeah, great. Well, as we mentioned, most people shop on the internet, and so they are looking at your home through the internet and the pictures. And frankly, if your home is not looking like something that they could move into, they're probably going to pass and they won't even schedule that showing. So it is critical that we capture them right there at the first point of entry, which is the internet.
And you know, you're absolutely right, because you have to remember here that people are visual.
Yes,
They are so visual. And you think that people can just sort of see your home for all the glory that it can absolutely be. But that's not really necessarily so true. So you really need to have that third person's eye on that. And, you know, if you have one tip that you can share with people today, what might that be?
Well, I would just encourage people to look at their home and understand that, you know, if someone looking at your house cannot see themselves living in your house, they won't. So just think of it as a retail store.
Yeah, look at the mannequin, they're dressed.
Exactly. Or going into one of my favorite examples is Target with the red. People love to go into Target. And so think of your home that way and help create an environment that someone can actually see themselves living there in every part of your home. And you will have the best chance then of getting them to put an offer in on your house.
Well, you know, we have a property here that I'm going to go ahead and share with everyone here right now, but I want you to comment on it here because it's a really neat property here. If you guys are looking for a home here, it's priced at $220,000 on the east side of town here, just off of Galley and Circle there. Yeah. Built in 1996, you guys, over 3,300 square feet. It's got 5 bedrooms, 3 baths here, and let's see, I think it's a single car garage there, but absolutely in really great condition. Now there are a couple things in talking about staging though that this home could look a lot better. I noticed there were a lot of family pictures on the walls.
There are.
And I would think you'd want to take those down. Would that be about right?
Yeah, we do. We want to take those down again so that people can see themselves living there, not you as the seller living there.
Right. So sometimes it's good to kind of declutter and depersonalize that a little bit. And I noticed that this particular home, you know, paint is a wonderful thing, we love to say in our industry there, and it has a couple of orange walls, you know, that kind of, which you can decorate around orange though, right?
Absolutely. I'm the master at decorating around those things.
Well, listen, you guys stay tuned for more from the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. Get your pen and paper ready because we got some more properties to share with you. We'll be right back.